Welcome to another episode of Wayne's World of Science and Technology. Once again, we are talking about war because I've gotten a bunch of questions recently. And pardon me a moment, folks.
Yes, I'll fix that. There you are.
Sorry, joys of having a puppy. He got himself caught up in some cables. Was trying to grab one of his toys. Um, I've been getting questions both offline and online about the threats, the nuclear threats that Vladimir Putin is making. And I also got questions about the threats that the Chinese were making when Pelosi was visiting Taiwan. And it's difficult in a way to break down that, okay, this is a vast oversimplification, but effectively what you're looking at is a bully who's being called on it, and the bully's screaming, "No, you can't. I'll get even more dangerous." But the thing is, when the bully starts screaming, that's usually a good indication that the bully has no power in the situation. And that's what we're seeing with both Taiwan, with Chinese excitement. They had no power to stop Pelosi from going there unless they wanted to start a war. And they just weren't willing to do that. Putin, he doesn't want a war against NATO. So he makes these threats. Now, the point is, from both of them, of course, if they can scare you into backing off, then, hey, they've got something for free. Didn't cost them anything, did it? If they can't scare you into backing off, then they back off and they don't do anything. And again, all it cost them was a little bit of talk. It's a win-win from their point of view, and so they will keep on making these threats until they realize that the threats are not having an effect, at which point they will take their marbles and go home. Now, there's another way to look at it, which is that authoritarian regimes tend to, how should I put it, bombastic displays. And it doesn't matter what type of authoritarian regime you look at, going down through the ages, you see a lot of bombastic displays. Look at during the 1500s and 1600s, the king's ships. Effectively, each king would have a special warship that was all done up with gold leaf and all this other stuff to show how important that king was. Not for fighting capability, for show. Now, that's what we're seeing with Russia and China. Fifth generation fighters. A lot of it is show. Hey, we are tough, we are strong. They have this need because the authoritarian regime doesn't allow for weakness to somehow show strength, even when they don't have any. And that's a major issue. You can go back, you could look at any authoritarian government, and you will see this bombastic displays and pronouncements are a standard thing. Look at Benito Mussolini, the man who started fascism. He was really good at that. And so, yeah, if these guys can pull off their bombastic displays and get away with it and make themselves feel good, because a lot of it comes down to them not being aware that they aren't as strong as they'd like to be. It's, how should I put it? It's a form of cultural narcissism, where a culture is so narcissistic won't admit that an outside culture can have anything to offer, and so therefore basically denies the outside culture any agency, and is, like all narcissism, based in a certain amount of weakness. The person has to love themselves, or the country has to love themselves because nobody else does. And that's a huge thing. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. I didn't script this out beforehand, in part because I wasn't really 100% sure what I wanted to say, and as you can tell, I have a bouncy puppy in the room with me. Hi, Loki. Yes, you're cute, and I'm glad you finally figured out that you found your toy and you can chew on it. Ah, doggies. Anyway, have a good evening, folks. Hope you're doing well. Bye bye.